You reached for your weapon, but as the Void Woken was, it promised Fane. The truth hangs heavy upon...
Come here often. Looks like don't tell him of matter. I've always now go.
Well, my goodness. What do you mean? His wit? Sir Lord.
Now, here I am. Here we are. Indeed.
So you feed the grip we've...
I, Quercus, and you, Shield? What say you?
Sir Lord.
No matter it... Out.
God broken. Dallas to the order.
The divine... What a Lucian...
I am...
Respect.
Lucian...
Yes.
Dallas, a sky...
I am...
Aren't they just full of...
Fear not.
I shall long ago...
Of course.
Sight our king.
With the source they stole.
Really?
Shut...
He hesitated.
Here, my one mistake meant all the...
I see.
There...
I was... It was the crew. Fate. Yes. Fate.
Everything...
Everything up. But now...
The hammers...
See you even...
Dallas's reasons weren't mine to question. All that ever mattered to me was peace. Peace for Riverlong. Peace for me, whatever the means. And now, we are on the precipice. While Dallas...
One more...
I had to... As divine, I was...
The Eterran.
The
plan...
We have...
There
is no... We only lack...
Then let us... Show...
Sealing the... Though it feigned, and you should...
You'll be a hit.
Don't let the
last time... No. Never.
Good.
Yeah.
She raised...
How?
You left.
Kill him.
Do shut up, you tedious buffoon. And don't look so surprised. As if I would allow a bone bag to enslave. Yes. Or did you... It was...
Kill him.
Too late, you mouldering blight. You dared interrupt Brachus Rex. How novel. Who are you to challenge the Source King? Ha! The God King hears. He sends, come to your father. Come to the Source King.
Well then, I never let alone. I cannot imagine someone I would trust more with divinity.
Fane,
Do you know?
Wait, I've made as at one time, but I need to face this end alone. I've trusted. I can't do it again.
If Anne draw...
There will be no...
Here we stand. I will not. If I'd think, and of yes, I'd sit there, thoroughly contented.
He smiles.
After you.
You think back. You think of the... You think... You look. You think... You marvel. It's time. Shall you be divine? The world fades at this. The god will...
mine. I'm ready.
After all that you have been through, and all that you have done, all that you have become, the Aetheran lies in front of you. Divinity is yours to take. Or to sacrifice. What you do next decides your own. What shall you do with divinity?
And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the Godwoken. Dallas the Hammer, the secret eternal, purged the Godwoken and used the source to close the veil to the void. The world was saved. Statues in memory of the Godwoken who sacrificed their source were erected all across Rivellon. They would never be forgotten. The half-demon Malady took pity on the soulless Godwoken silent monks and brought them to the Hall of Echoes. There, from the scraps of their souls that remained, she restored them to life. Sorcerers no more, they lived out the rest of their lives, freed of the burden of being the Godwoken, freed from the weight of the world. As for me, the Godwoken sacrifice severed the link that bound the Sworn to the God King, and I was finally free. To atone for my sins, I spent the rest of my days taking care of the sick and elderly, telling the story of the Godwoken, that the world may never forget the greatest heroes Rivellon had ever seen.
Well, well, look what the cat dragged in. A silent monk. At least that's what you'd be if it weren't for Malady. She's Malady, the one and only. She is greater, I dare say, than we dare dream. Like I would about the man's a man, all too prone to the weaknesses of the heart. We've seen the results of his errors firsthand. I give it a week before he errs anew. Yes, well, that's to say, all right, you made a point. Besides, Lucian, as for myself, I'm counting on a second chance. Why, I mean my empire, of course. After all, I've dragons. There may be an accident or two along the way. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. I do so long to see my palace again. To sit all day in perfumed but above all, I long to be with Sadher. Long to finally have the... but before you go, remember how when we first met, I took you by the jaw to inspect your teeth? Not something one forgets in a hurry. Now, if you recall, as per your own testament, the time, of course, what say you? Well, that's settled then. You're very welcome to my house indeed. We'll feast and reminisce. But in the my boots are not...
Malady stands...
Where did I go wrong? How is full still? Never mind.
She fingers them.
We've come along.
She looks you up and down.
I guess this will have... Take a moment, why don't... Relax. Enjoy. I certainly plan to do the same. The same way I do everything. Oh, I don't know. Around and about. Perhaps our path until we find out.
Well, Quirkers, look who finally graced us with their presence. What? Oh, no, you should be thanked. You're welcome, by the way. Honestly, Quirkers, some creatures have no sense of perspective.
A huge grin slowly spread.
Of course, had you not stopped this God King and his lackey.
The cat moves forward.
Ah, Quirkers! Please, have a little decorum. This battle they summoned, that is the future Quirkers and I have ahead of us. We no longer need a shield, but we are very happy to have a friend. The honor is all mine. I never... Ow! Quirkers! I do not know what comes next for you. Come, Quirkers.
The cat curls up and snuggles into his squirrel friend. A slight grin crosses the spirit's face. Ifan's spirit stares at you, seemingly through you. He gives no... Ifan's...
Klaku.
He whispers the phrase, then that you could... Losa looks at you. Fane is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He leaves.
I see.
He glances up at you. Big, empty eye sockets taking in every...
Well, well, there you are. Another fight. A little leaner than when we first met, and a little less divine than you'd hoped, I imagine. As do I, it seems. Whatever that life might be.
Fane looks back down to the book. A bony finger running across...
It could have been different, you know? I could have saved them. I could have found a way. I could have done more. So, had they decided to live in peace with the mortals of Riverlong, maybe we could have saved them. But they made their choices, and I made mine. No, I imagine you can't. I imagine no one can. Or something. I never took the time. Then again, you are no... So, what do you think you'll do, now that we live in a source-free world? Of that, there can be no doubt. I'm sure the bards will sing of your heroics for generations.
The skeleton hefts Hubert's dog-eared encyclopedia.
I've been rereading this book, looking over your history once again, poring over it's shit.
Fane tosses the book over his shoulder. It flutters in the air as it sails.
If you have spent your life staring at a thing, you can write about it with knowledge. You can write about it. You creatures have spent your lives trudging about this world, and you've grown blind. Take otters, for example, or octopuses. Octopuses? Octopi? Regardless, the world is filled with absolutely incredible sights. And who better to catalogue them with the awe they deserve? Do you know? There is the... I suppose we are... But my people were sourced too. In a way, I was walking up... In you, I found...
No more swords, no more powers. Reform my...
Her eye, her mouth.
Something. But a girl needs... It gives me almost as much pleasure to speak to you as it does to be. I will always... I am at the ready.
You look out, and with a start, you... At last, the world was at peace. As the races united behind Lucian, Arx remained the center of power. The ancient Lizard Empire opened its gates. The houses disbanded, and the Empire adopted a pluralist quasi-democracy. Anyone could vote for whoever they pleased, as long as the House of Shadows approved. Justinia returned to her throne. Under her rule, the Dwarven kingdom prospered, until 2 years later, a jealous lover stabbed her in the heart with a mutton fork. Lucian made amends to the elves. He gave them lands and vast riches from the coffers of the old divine order. But the elves never forgave him. They would not trust humans again. And in a dark forest on the far side of a desert, well beyond the high seas, the Black Ring came together once more. The island of Fort Joy, the old redoubt of the Source King Brachus Rex, was turned over to the people of Driftwood to use as they wished. They turned it into a holiday resort. Reaper's Coast prospered. The fisheries returned, and the fertile farmlands produced the greatest harvests the surviving farmers had ever seen. Blood Moon Island became particularly fecund, its soil producing the greatest crops. A particularly crimson-fleshed orange grown on the island became a delicacy across half the world. The Black Pits took fire. The oil there burns still. Driftwood became a center of industry, trade, and transport. Lohar became mayor, and Brayton Barnes grew rich until, after a public argument over import duties, Barnes died in an accident, buried under several tons of fish, and also stabbed in the back with a gutting knife. Your lizard lover finally returned to the ancient lizard empire, there to found the newest and most popular of all the houses, the House of Love. After a long and harrowing journey, Lovric the waiter arrived in Sicile, where he opened a tavern. The meaty stew became famed almost as much for its food as it was for its greasy, abusive owner. Lagan left his over-demanding wife and began a relationship with a local bard. In the spirit of loving generosity, he returned the ring to his now ex-wife. In a fit of rage, she threw it into the sea. The nameless isle had vanished. Although only open water remained, by instinct ships would steer clear. None of the captains could articulate why. Arx became a great metropolis, famed for its prosperity, its culture, its diversity, and the willingness of its denizens to stab each other in the back for the slightest advantage. Young Han went into the theatre and became one of the realm's most popular actors. With no new divine, Malady found herself in a predicament. She had an important problem to solve, but no ally strong enough to call upon, and so her search continued. Having performed the greatest act of necromancy in history, Tarquin found the new world unchallenging. He became obsessed with rumors of another plane of existence. One day he vanished and was never seen again. Ahu the wizard became one of Lucian's most trusted advisors once more. He always knew that something had changed in the divine. He never discovered what that was, or, if he did, he never said a word. With Amadia silent, the priestess Gratiana left the swamps and re-entered the world. She founded an abbey in the Dragonspine Mountains, offering the last of the undead shelter from fortune hunters, novelty seekers, and ghouls. Mordus scratched out a living, ending up as a short-order cook. After an epiphany arising from the phrase, sunny side up, he started a religion. Upon his death from food poisoning, all three of his followers committed suicide. Jehan the demon hunter found himself at a loose end, so he opened a museum of demonic artifacts. He made a fortune. With Lucian in power, Sahala took the elves away from the world. They grew strong once more amidst the trees of the regrown home forest. Some say her plans for revenge will bring about the end of days. Some say only Tova, her mother, holds her back. Lucian returned as divine, united the races, and became Lord Emperor of all Rivellon. Only Dallis knew that he was entirely powerless. Dallis and you. The Eternal, now known as Dallis, was a secret advisor to Lucian and to his successors. For eons she would walk in the world, and would outlive the peoples and all, and wander alone amongst the dying stars. His run-in with his daughter set Fane on a new path. He travelled Rivellon, recording the wonders he discovered, but always kept a socket peeled for signs of the Eternals. He hoped to find the wife he'd lost, but he never did. Then again, He's still looking. The Red Prince came home a hero. With Sada, he had more dragons. Soon, Prince became Emperor, one who would not use his dragons for conquest. His realm knew peace, and the world did not burn. And then there was you. You returned to the world as one more elf among many. Your future was yours to decide. Did you accept your new status with humility, or did you rebel? Only you know the truth. Only you know if you atone for your sins.
to me, the night is dark. Come to me, the night is long. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me. Come to me, the night is dark. Come to me, the night is long. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me. Sway with me, we'll make them scream. Dance with me, we'll make them bleed. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing for me. Listen, do you hear it? Listen, do you feel it? Listen, I'm calling you. Listen, you do know me. Listen, swing and roll me. Listen, I'm calling you. You are enough.
este sí que es el final. El mejor final que hay. Máxima dificultad. Con todas las misiones hechas. Y me parece el mejor juego de rol que he visto. Fin.